Hi, I'm Kugof. In this episode, I will show you a list of unusual prehistoric animals that once lived on the planet. I hope you enjoy. Number 1. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Tyrannosaurus Rex lived in the United States, Canada, and possibly Asia in the late Cretaceous. It lived from 75 to 65 million years ago. The predator lived in dense forest, but also felt comfortable in open spaces. Tyrannosaurus Rex, like other late tyrannosaurs, was a bipedal carnivore with a massive skull. It was almost 13 meters long and weighed 8,870 kilograms. It is one of the largest known tyrannosaurs and one of the largest known land predators of all time. Tyrannosaurus fossils were discovered in rocks of western North America. They come from the last 3 million years of the Cretaceous or late Maastrichtian period, about 68.5 to 65.5 million years ago. It was one of the last non-bird dinosaurs to become extinct during the Great Cretaceous extinction. About 30 specimens have been found, almost half of which are relatively complete skeletons. Number 2. The Smilodon. This prehistoric predator has very large fangs in the jaw that stick out, even when the mouth is closed. The Smilodon, or more commonly referred to as saber-toothed tiger, is an extinct type of Megatherium that lived from about 3 million to 10,000 years ago. Smilodons inhabited North and South America. The mature saber-toothed tiger weighed about 200 kilograms, had a short tail, powerful limbs, and a large head, and they were about the size of a lion. Its jaws had an opening angle of 120 degrees, and the large canines were about 17 centimeters long. Smilodon hunted other game and used its fangs to kill prey by biting at the victim's neck. The fangs, however, were very fragile and easy to destroy, which resulted in the tiger's inability to hunt and, consequently, its death. Number 3. The Antodon. They inhabited the forests of Europe, Asia, and North America during the Eocene, Oligocene, and early Miocene, 45 to 18 million years ago. Some animals of this species were about 2 meters tall and 3 meters long and weighed about 2 tons. They had a brain the size of a fist. They ate both meat of prey and carrion and enriched their diet with vegetation. At one time, they were at the top of the food chain and aroused fear among other animals, leading to instances of them fleeing from the Antodon, giving up their captured game. This prehistoric pig had powerful fangs and a very strong jaw pressure that could easily crush the skull and the thickest bones of other creatures. Number 4. Gigantopithecus. The Gigantopithecus is an extinct species of great apes that lived from 1 million to 300,000 years ago in what is now China, India, and Vietnam. According to scientists, Gigantopithecus is the largest monkey that ever lived. During its existence, it reached 3 meters in height and 540 kilograms in weight. It was even able to defeat other predators such as tigers and crocodiles. Scientists calculated that Gigantopithecus was 2 or 3 times heavier than today's gorilla and almost 5 times heavier than the modern orangutan. Gigantopithecus probably became extinct due to the changing climate and lack of food in its area. Number 5. The Dodo. The dodo is an extinct species of large flightless bird in the pigeon family. Its professional name is Rufus cucullatus. It was endemic to the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Dodo birds were discovered in the 16th century and became extinct surprisingly quickly. They died almost en masse when man arrived at Mauritius. Apparently, the sudden death of their species is due to the fact that they were extremely stupid animals. The dodo never had contact with predators before. So, when people appeared in their environment, they were quickly killed due to their curious appearance, appreciated by Europeans. Most likely, the last birds of this species died in 1662. Number 6. Helicoprion. Helicoprion is a genus of extinct fish from the Eugenodontida order and belongs to the Helicoprionidae family. These kinds of fossils are found in the early Permian rocks. These fish did not have their old and worn teeth removed, and an unusual tooth spiral was formed during the life of the animal. The fossils of the skeleton outside the Helicoprion skull are unknown, and the animal's appearance remains a matter of speculation. Helicoprion lived in the early and middle Permian about 270 to 300 million years ago. The fossils of this fish have been found in North America, Northern Europe, and East and North Asia. More than half of the specimens have been found in Idaho in the Rocky Mountains, and a quarter in Russia in the Urals. Number 7. The mammoth. The mammoth is the ancestor of today's elephants. The last specimen of the species was lost at the end of the last ice age, at the end of the Pleistocene. These animals inhabited vast areas of Europe, North America, and Northern Asia. The woolly mammoths were one of the favorite animals for people of the late Pleistocene to hunt, which can be seen in numerous paintings preserved to this day, mainly on the walls of caves, for example, in Rouffignac in France. Mammoths were a food source, but they also provided materials for the production of leather, household utensils, as well as tools and ornaments. The bones were occasionally used to build Paleolithic houses, traces of which were found in the village of Masariksi in Ukraine. Number 8. Megatherium. Megatherium is a prehistoric species of ground sloth, reaching the size of a modern elephant. They lived in South and Central America, from the late Pliocene to the late Pleistocene, more precisely from 5.3 million to 11,000 years ago. The Megatherium was one of the largest animals that ever walked the earth. It weighed 5 tons, which is the same as today's African elephant. They usually walked on 4 limbs, but traces indicate that they also stood on 2 legs. When standing on its hind legs, it was about 6 meters tall, which is the same height as a modern giraffe. Like the modern anteater, the sloth only put the sides of its feet on the ground because its 30-centimeter claws prevented it from laying its entire foot flat on the ground. The species of this genus belong to the abundant Pleistocene megafauna of that era. Number 9. The Arthropleura. The Arthropleura is an extinct type of herbivorous millipede arthropod related to modern-day millipedes that lived in the late Carboniferous about 300 million years ago in the wetlands of Nova Scotia, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Scotland. Arthropleura measured 1.5 to 2.5 meters in length, making it the largest terrestrial arthropod in Earth's history. Achieving such a large size was probably possible due to the higher-than-present oxygen content in Earth's atmosphere and the lack of natural enemies, such as giant predatory vertebrates. This animal had more than 30 pairs of legs. If such a creature moved around our planet now, it would be quite disgusting to humans because of its appearance. Number 10. Deprotodon. Deprotodon was the largest marsupial in the history of the Earth. Despite its size, the animal was herbivorous but had a few natural enemies, such as prehistoric kangaroos and wolves, which occasionally attacked Deprotodons, especially their young. Due to this threat, these animals, along their evolution, had to arm themselves with powerful jaws, huge claws, and a mass that could crush their would-be predators. It was the size of today's white rhino, and they lived like a hippo. In Australia, they lived from 1.6 million to around 40,000 years ago, i.e. for most of the Pleistocene. Deprotodons lived in open forest clearings, and meadows, probably staying by water, and ate leaves, bushes, and grass. It was about 2 meters high, 3 meters long, and weighed about 3 tons. The closest living relatives to Deprotodons are the wombat and the koala. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.